Deepak, I think companies have been really fast tracking on the digital transformation journey. I think at least last couple of months, I think I would say since the time COVID pandemic has come in, organizations have really moved very fast from a digital transformation perspective. Either it's a legacy organization or a born digital organization. I think technology obviously has become an integral fabric for these organizations, and data obviously is the most important asset. And when the data becomes important asset, obviously there is more a threat from a cybersecurity perspective. So I think the role of cybersecurity needs to be redesigned or redefined as we create the digital enterprises. And organizations, when they look at creating digital customer experiences, it's about relooking at the way you have deployed your technology and securing the overall architecture itself, right? It's not limiting to one or two applications, but the overall technology architecture needs to be relooked at from a security perspective. Cybersecurity has to be integrated in the overall enterprise risk management rather than running as a standalone initiative in the organizations. So you need to also prepare teams to manage fraud prevention, security, product development. So any processes that you're running in the organization necessarily has to have cybersecurity and risk management in mind. So as companies, they leverage data analytics. Especially customer sensitive data is being analyzed for various purposes, primarily from a business point of view. It's important to identify the risks that are created from integrating this sort of data, right? They must also incorporate security controls into the analytic solutions. That may not have been part of the standard software development methodology. So typically, when you look at analytics, it's not a standard process that you follow, right? You typically pull the data out and then start analyzing. So there's no security that goes into in building analytic solutions. We've also seen a lot of adoption around RPA or robotic process automation, right? And one important thing is the whole governance angle around bots, right? So how do you manage the bot credentials? How do you ensure that the data or the processes that are being run by the bots are secure, right? I think that's another area where the organization needs to start thinking when they're going into more and more digitalization and automation. And we have seen in hyper-connected world where organizations are trying to integrate themselves with either extensions of their own of the same organization, let's say through distributors, or maybe to customers through APIs. I think what is important is to identify the vulnerabilities that could potentially be there in those APIs, right? And interaction with the APIs as and when a third party is interacting with the API, any specific threat it could bring into the data as well as the overall infrastructure. So the idea is to build, build and enforce standards across the overall software development process. I think another thing which I can think of is, as organizations are moving towards cloud, cloud has to be necessarily be configured for better security standards, because you want to be more agile, you want to build your solutions on the cloud, you want to deploy solutions, especially from a system of engagement perspective. So you need to necessarily have security standards deployed on the cloud, and you have to implement hardening and monitoring of the cloud environments you're deploying the solution. So and last but not the least, I think as you deal with sensitive customer data, consumer data privacy is the most important aspect that the organizations will need to start thinking on. How do you manage it better, right?